So that gives me some stability that I didn't have, of course, last year. And hopefully that speeds up my recovery, speeds up my timetable a little bit. Exactly when I'll be back is hard to say, but we're hoping it's a matter of weeks and, not a matter of months. So it's not the way I envisioned my season starting, but nonetheless, this is where we are.
All right, Greg, let's think about the team right now, because as much as they miss you, they're winning games, which is huge. And last week was a big win against a good Cincinnati Bengals team. And Cam Newton had a vintage Cam Newton performance, looked as good as he ever had. You were there all training camp, all preseason, and you're still there now. What about the Norv Turner Cam Newton connection, and could Cam be even better than we've seen him in the past?
I mean, if he's off to a great start, that's for sure. Obviously as a team, we're playing pretty well. We had the one slip up down in Atlanta, but Cam still played really well. He's utilizing a lot of different guys. Obviously, McCaffrey's had a big day receiving, and then followed that up with a big day last week against Cincinnati with a big game on the ground. But a lot of those strings are being pulled, by Cam. Executing what Norv has as our game plan going in. Norv has been around this league for a long time. He's got a great football mind. He's got a lot of experience that he can draw back on. And the biggest thing that I'd say about Norv is he knows how to use players for their strengths, and that's no different with Cam. You saw him last week against Cincinnati, threw for 2, ran for 2. Those were kind of the games that kind of allowed him to take the league by storm now over the last couple of years. And I think it's been a really good relationship between the two of them, and I think our offense is benefiting.
Greg, there's another storm because Christian McCaffrey just had 184 yards rushing. I'm going to love it with you, Greg, guy to guy. I get very excited watching Christian McCaffrey play. I call him the Little Blue Diamond. That's his nickname. It's actually kind of appropriate for Walgreens. Can you tell us something more about Christian McCaffrey? I know he works hard, and we've seen him on the field. Take us behind the scenes. Tell us about Christian and get me even more excited, because I love watching this guy play.
Yeah, I think we all do. I mean, I remember, staying up those late West Coast games when he was still in college at Stanford, watching him run all over everybody out there, and, thought he was going to win the Heisman that year. So, I mean, he's a guy we've kind of seen play at a high level for a long time, back to his college days and now in his first, 2 years in the league. And I think the last two weeks kind of sum him up. You can go down to Atlanta. They play real soft zone defense, kind of taking away our deep shots, and he catches 14 balls. And then the following week, he catches 2 balls, but he has 26 carries or whatever it was for 180 yards. I think to go back-to-back weeks with such varying, sort of games, just speaks volumes to what he's capable of. His kind of skill set that he brings to that position is unique. He'd run between the tackles, he's running on the perimeter, he's breaking long runs, he's running short yardage, catching the ball out of the backfield. There's not a whole lot left when you're talking about a running back. So it's he's a special talent. We knew that. That's why we took him as high as we did last year. And I think in this offense, it's really paying dividends.
Greg, the Panthers made a big acquisition yesterday, signing Eric Reid to a 1-year deal, according to our own Ian Rappaport. What do you think Eric Reid can bring to this team? And what are we talking about with the 2018 Carolina Panthers as a whole, offense and defense, as we move forward?
Yeah, I think it's a huge addition. Of course, we've had some kind of, we've had a little bit of a rash of injuries there in the back end and the secondary, specifically at safety. And, obviously Eric's a guy that's played for a long time. I remember playing him back in the playoffs in 2013 when he was a young player out in San Francisco. They beat us at our place. He was a guy that we recognized back then, was a good player and, could do a lot of different things, play the pass, play the run, be physical at the line of scrimmage. So, to add him now as a veteran player who, is coming off a season last year where he played really well and played at a high level, being able to add him to a defense that we think is pretty good to begin with, I think is pretty unique and is pretty special. So I know we're happy to have him. I got a chance to see him a little bit yesterday at the facility when he got there for his physical, just kind of welcome him, introduce yourself. But I'm sure he's just as excited, but I know as a team, we're excited to get him on the field and kind of start bringing him up to speed so he can contribute.
Hey, Greg, a lot of our show is talking about the NFC South. Who's going to win? Who's in the lead? It is a 3-way tie in my favorite division in football this year. And it's going to come down to the last few weeks. I want you to put somebody on the map for us, an unsung hero, an X factor, the one guy that maybe nobody's talking about on the Panthers that might give them the edge to take it home.
I mean, I don't know if I can give you one guy, but I think the one group that just doesn't get enough praise for what they've done and what they've handled through the preseason and now through the first 3 games is our offensive line. You're talking about You know, we've missed our Pro Bowl. Both our tackles that we had as our two, pillars out there at tackle. Darrell Williams played just a little bit of the first game. Matt Khalil hasn't played at all. So we move a young guy and Taylor Moton into tackle. We bring a guy off the street, Chris Clark, to play left tackle. Then, right when we get those guys in, we lose Trey Turner, our all-pro guard. So we got two new young guys playing there, and Van Roten, and it's just, our one consistent has been Ryan Khalil in the middle, but the rest of it's been kind of a moving target, and those guys have just rallied around each other, and obviously had a great week last week, rushing for 240 yards. We got the #1 rush offense in the league. Again, it's early, but you can't say enough about what those guys have done to allow us and allow our playmakers and allow the guys we talk about a lot, Cam and Christian and those, it allows those guys to do what they're asked to do because of the guys up front. And you can't say enough about what they've done. Matsko, what he's done with them, I think is pretty special, and I hope people appreciate just how hard it is to do what they've done.
Speaking about what guys have done, I want to talk about what you guys did on Victory Monday after the big win against the Bengals. The entire Panthers team spent the day packing 1,500 food supply boxes for Hurricane Florence relief, and I love that because there's a misconception that after a win, guys retreat to their homes in the hills and they're separated, but you guys are putting boots on the grounds and trying to help people in need. Now, of course, there's room for competition. You guys were split into two teams. Tell us kind of what happened next.
Yeah, I have to say, my team, I was part of the team, but me, McCaffrey, and Luke, Cam, a handful of guys, we were kind of the box creators, so we had to tape these boxes and put them together, and then it went down the assembly line to fill them with the canned goods and the packaged goods and all that. And I won't say who was on the losing team, but we won by a pretty wide margin. So I'm not taking all the credit.
Who was the slowest?
Our ability to make. Well, the other team lost by a lot, so you're gonna have I have to be. It looks like those guys have never used the tape. The tape gun. They were not very friendly with the tape gun. They weren't sure how to put a box together.
Yeah, seeing what's behind you looks like you could be a winner on Supermarket Sweep as well. You went shopping for your team while you were on the mend there with P&G and Walgreens. What do you got going on with them?
Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys know what it's like, family and kids and what it takes to kind of run a household. And for the month of October, I've teamed up with P&G and Walgreens, and for a campaign they're calling the BOGO 50 Blitz. Some participating P&G products, you can go into your local Walgreens, you can buy them, and then you can get that same product for 50% off. So for the whole month, it's a great opportunity to kind of stockpile on all the things that allow us to kind of run our daily lives and take care of our households and whatnot. And for this month, it'll be a great opportunity to kind of stock up on those items that we all use and we all depend on, and kind of take advantage of this unique campaign.
Greg, we appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you for what you do on and, more importantly, off the field. I know it's killing your side that you're not on the field, but as fans of you, fans of your team, just heal up, and we'll see you later in the season, kicking butt like you usually do, man. Greg Olsen, thank you.
You got it, guys.
Love
Thanks
having
so much, guys.
Division, one of the best, but there's nothing like